Charlie Chaplin died today at his home in Switzerland. The great comedian was 88, and his doctors said there really was no specific cause. You can say he died of old age, the doctors told reporters. There are very few of us, from small children to the very old, whose lives were not in some way touched by the genius of this comedian. Betty Rollin remembers him for all of us.
Although he had been ill for a long time, it is so sad that he should have passed away on Christmas Day. So said Una O'Neill, Chaplin's widow. They were married 34 years ago when she was 18 and he 54. Besides his wife, 7 of their 8 children, shown here in an old photograph, were at Chaplin's bedside when he died this morning. His actress daughter Geraldine, who is in Spain, is expected to arrive in time for the funeral, which will be private, on Tuesday. Charles Spencer Chaplin, who was born in England and spent part of his childhood in a London poorhouse, began his career in vaudeville, and then in America in 1910 began to make silent pictures. With this character, the little tramp, in all of his various guises, Chaplin became one of the great comedians of all time. Probably no performer, before or since, has been so eloquently, movingly, and deliciously foolish. Here he dines in the Gold Rush. One of the reasons Chaplin's Tramp got to people was that in spite of all the terrible things that kept happening to him, in spite of all the terrible jams he kept getting into, he kept expecting life to be wonderful. And here he is in The Great Dictator, making someone else, Adolf Hitler, look silly. Chaplin was honored repeatedly. In 1975, he and his wife returned to England, where he was knighted by Queen Elizabeth. And 3 years earlier, just before his 83rd birthday, he returned here to America for another tribute. During the McCarthy era, he was called a communist, and when he left the country in 1952, he was told he couldn't come back. When he did come back in 1972, he was awarded a special Oscar, and the audience in Hollywood let him know how welcome he was.
Oh, you're wonderful, sweet people. Thank you.
Chaplin once said, "One cannot do humor without great sympathy for one's fellow man." It is probably because of that sympathy, or love for us, that made us respond with such sympathy and love for the little guy who walked so funny and did so many silly things. Betty Rollin, NBC News.
And that is our report this Christmas Day.